climax of the EFL season is drawing near. Destinies are now being decided at both ends of the table. Only a win would stave off relegation for Ipswich as they faced Birmingham. The battle for automatic promotion was also entering a crucial phase. Second place Leeds were facing Sheffield Wednesday. Elsewhere, promotion rivals Sheffield United hosted Millwall. And that's where we start. Your commentator is Paul Walker.
Norwood, change of direction from him. McGoldrick away from Thompson, curling one. That's a really good try from David McGoldrick. Decides to chop back in field on his right foot. That is very, very close. Freeman. O'Connell set it down, McGoldrick! And blocked by Pearce, now O'Connell. Gary Medine, the cop rising to its feet. And deflected behind. Well, that's a bit more like it. Well, Sheffield United picking up the tempo at the start of this second half. McGoldrick shot blocked by Pearce. And Gary Medine has a chance here. Just seem to be moving the ball that little bit quicker, Sheffield United now. Freeman. McGoldrick. Fleck going after it. He might just get there. It's John Fleck. Squared across Medine! That's what they've been waiting for! This tug of war for the top two takes another turn. Sheffield United turning up the heat on Leeds United. Excellent build-up play. Lovely ball through from McGoldrick. Fleck had the legs to get there. Cuts it back to Medine. He is not going to miss that. And just how crucial could it be? McGoldrick, only Medine inside the area. McGoldrick's going to go for goal potentially, and tipped round the post by David Martin. And McGoldrick had only one thing on his mind. Cooper. Tossed in towards Elliott, out by O'Connell. Touch was too heavy from McGoldrick. Thompson! Beaten away by Henderson. Here's Ferguson. Plenty still in there. Elliott! Oh, terrific off the line from Egan. The referee's given a penalty here, a red card for Egan. And I thought initially he'd used his head. This will give us a better idea. Oh dear. Oh dear, that is blatant from John Egan. And no wonder he shakes his head. And what a pivotal moment this could be. Leeds fans praying that Ben Marshall can stick this one away, no doubt. And he's hit the bar! Incredible end to this game at Bramall Lane. Absolutely sensational finish to it. Ben Marshall, plenty of power, but clatters the bar. What a dramatic moment in the championship campaign this is. Wallace. Thompson. Now Marshall, plenty of orange shirts getting in there. Flicked on by Gregory and headed straight at goal by Cooper. Henderson is there. Maybe that was their big chance to get something from it. It's a good ball in from Marshall, helped on by Gregory. Cooper either side of Henderson, and he scores. Leonard. McGoldrick with the clearance. Cooper now playing as a makeshift centre forward. Wallace. Still time for Millwall. It's Marshall. They are queuing up in the middle. Elliott! Cooper! There is a late twist. Absolute pandemonium in stoppage time. Is that the goal that changes everything? Marshall with the cross. First one saved by Henderson, and Cooper sticks his header into the net. A goal that could have huge implications at both the top and the bottom of the championship table.
So that result lifted the Leeds fans, who were packing out Ellen Road to watch their side take on Sheffield Wednesday. The Blades could only hope for a favour from their city rivals. Watching this one, Nigel Adderley.
Alioski goes down by reach, but strong enough to ride the challenge. Roberts. Alioski in support again. Here is Ayling. Ayling trying his luck, and Victor was in the way. It's a corner. Leeds have scored 12 goals from corners so far this season. Alioski's delivery, Roberts is there, and what a save by Westwood. Well, Kieran Westwood has really shown his value to Sheffield Wednesday in recent weeks, and that's why Roberts must have thought his long wait for a goal had come to an end there, but that is top-class goalkeeping. Fletcher, now reach. And here is Gary Hooper. It's a real opportunity. He's beyond the goalkeeper. Can he finish? No, he can't. Well, it was nervous defending there from Leeds United, but they got away with it. There was a huge hole at the heart of their defence. Reach picking out Hooper, and the collision between the goalkeeper and defender just forced him wide, and in the end, he could only ripple the side netting. Roberts, Ayling, and there's with that touch, Ayling's cross, Harrison! And again Westwood with an excellent save. Brilliant play from Leeds to create the opening down the right. Ayling's cross, perfect for Harrison, but Westwood illustrating his value to the Sheffield Wednesday side. Roberts. Twisting away from reach, not once but twice. There was a deflection on the cross. Alioski was in there. Ayling shot, and it was cleared off the line in the end. The shot from Ayling, locked on the line by Hooper. And it fell kindly for him following that deflection off Hector. Here is Bamford on the chase. And he had support from Harrison, but it's an excellent challenge from Lees. But now Roberts able to bring down the cross. Westwood with another save. Roberts again! And he can't pick out a teammate. Bannon initially giving the ball away. Click finding Bamford. And although the first cross was dealt with, Roberts going for that near post, but Westwood was down to meet it. And then Roberts unable to find a teammate with the second ball. Hernandez, Ayling, Click in support, but Fox covered well. Click. Fox this time losing out to Roberts, and Bamford almost improvised and led to the opening goal. And it was another terrific delivery from Tyler Roberts, and Bamford lunging in, and then from a prone position almost nodding Leeds ahead. Roberts, Ayling. Bamford is the target of the cross, but it's beyond him, it's recovered, and Bamford can't apply the finish. Leeds are left frustrated once again. Another searching ball in from Ayling. Harrison did really well to pick out Bamford, but inside the 6-yard area. He couldn't get his feet in order and give Leeds the lead. Hernandez. Flick was onside. Bannon got to the cross. Roberts. Now Hernandez. Flicked on and flicked in! Jack Harrison with what could be one of the biggest goals of Leeds United's season. Westwood is finally beaten. Wednesday switched off at the throw-in. Hernandez was onside and his cross steered home delightfully by Jack Harrison. And this could be the day when Leeds United take a firm grip on second place. Finally, there is delirium inside Ellen Road. Forestieri. He's picked out Palmer, and Boyd was on the end of it. Here is Fox. He gets support from Bannon. And it's hung in for Palmer. Matthias Forestieri blocked, and the rebound is fired into the side netting by Matthias. That surely was the chance for Sheffield Wednesday. Forestieri with the first shot, and then it fell to Matthias, and although the angle was tight, in this sort of situation, they have to go in. And that's it. It's a big, big win for Bielsa's Leeds United. They move 3 points clear of Sheffield United with only 4 games to play. Full-time at Ellen Road. Leeds United 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
On their best run of results for over 4 decades, Aston Villa are not the side you want to be facing at the moment. Bristol City were grateful to former player Albert Adoma for a glaring miss as Villa started the game in a manner befitting their 7 straight wins. Illness had deprived them of captain Jack Grealish, but Villa weren't exactly struggling to create chances. It was finishing them off that was the problem. Tammy Abraham and John McGinn impeded one another as the home side struggled to make the breakthrough. To make matters worse, Max O'Leary in the City goal was in inspired form. This instinctive save from Conor Hourihane would not be the last time the goalkeeper denied him. On another day, Hourihane might have had a hat-trick, but O'Leary's man of the match performance extended into the second half. Another point-blank save from Hourihane had the Villa man disbelieving. But his and Villa's luck was to change. From Neil Taylor's cross, Hourihane fell under minimal contact with Jack Hunt, and Villa were awarded a 55th minute penalty. Abraham, another former Robin, took the spot kick, and at last O'Leary was beaten. 1975 was the last time that Villa won 8 consecutive league matches. They won promotion to the top flight that season. Under Dean Smith, 8 in a row was clinched when Hourihane finally got his goal. As for promotion, well, who knows? But in this form, you wouldn't bet against Villa. Bristol City were unbeaten in 5 before this, but found themselves well beaten. A consolation from Famara Diédiou made the final score a lot closer than it could have been.
The last time Preston fans saw a league win at West Brom, Bobby Charlton was manager. As they attempted to end a 46-year wait for a win at the Hawthorns, Alex Neil was in charge, despite being linked to the job at West Brom. It didn't take long for the Baggies to stamp their authority, Chris Brunt playing in Dwight Gale, who gave the cross the finish it deserved. Gale and Jay Rodriguez are involved in a 2-way battle for top scorer honours at the club this season. 4 minutes later, Gale was on the score sheet again to bring himself level with his strike partner on 20 each. Rodriguez edged his way ahead again just before the half-time whistle. Stefan Johansson threaded the ball through, and West Brom were home and hosed thanks to a composed finish. Gale completed his hat-trick with 20 minutes to go to continue his remarkable run in the Championship. He now has 44 goals from 56 starts in this division. Callum Robinson scored a late consolation for North End, but that wait for a win at the Hawthorns goes on. Jimmy Shan's side continue to impress, although how long will he be there?
Three points essential for two sides currently outside the top six. And it was Middlesbrough making the first move. Ashley Fletcher with the cross and a neat adjustment from Britt Assombalonga, keeping his balance to put Borough in front. He'd also scored in the 1-1 draw on Humberside back in September, so clearly there's something about the Tigers that brings out the best in him. Hull couldn't handle him, only the crossbar denying Assombalonga a second. But Borough came into this on the back of just one win from their last 7, and Hull should really have capitalised on their second half jitters. All it needed was the slightest touch from Fraser Campbell and they would have been level. Instead, with home fans anxiously howling for the final whistle in stoppage time, it was the slightest touch from Borough keeper Darren Randolph that proved decisive, somehow turning Kamil Grzycki's goal-bound free kick onto the underside of the bar. If Borough do go on to make the playoffs, that could be the save of the season.
Still to come, could the Tractor Boys dig their way out of trouble? Ipswich versus Birmingham is on the way.
Reading are consistently netting 4 points every 3 games at the moment and impressed with the draw at Carrow Road midweek. They were quick onto the score sheet via Yaku Meite against Brentford, whose midweek win against Ipswich was their first in 6. Meite didn't stop there, he was at it again 7 minutes later. His second of the day was his 4th in 4 for the club. Brentford's Neil Maupay netted just before half-time, his 26th in all competitions, by the way. What value he's been for £1.6 million. That was the highlight for the Bees, though. The Royals took the spoils to give them breathing space above the relegation zone.
Talk about a game of two halves. Relegation-haunted Rotherham's need was the greater, but it was Stoke playing without any pressure early on. And it came as no shock when Sam Vokes put the home side ahead after 27 minutes. And within 2 minutes, the Potters were 2 up. And it was a case of play it again Sam. Not Vokes this time, but Sam Klukas, sending Rotherham seemingly a step closer to the drop. Only one team in it, and it wasn't the visitors. But what a different story after the break, with the Millers fighting for their championship lives. They were back in business just before the hour, nobody bothering to pick up Michael Smith from a corner, and that rather summed up Stoke's dismal second half. They just seemed to vanish. And with Rotherham now in charge, Matty Crooks came off the bench and scored his first goal for the club with 17 minutes remaining. Could they claim all 3 points and give their chances of avoiding the drop a huge boost? Well, they very nearly did. Crooks so close to completing the turnaround, but for Jack Butland in the home goal. It could be a big point for Rotherham, but it could also turn out to be 2 costly points dropped.
Nothing but a win would do for Ipswich against Birmingham, or 17 consecutive seasons in the second tier would end. And things couldn't have started much worse. Only 7 minutes in, and Maxime Collin's cross evaded everyone but Lukas Jutkiewicz for only his second goal in his last 25 appearances. Birmingham could have been out of sight by half-time. A poor clearance from James Collins finding Hotter on the edge of the box. Well saved by Bartosz Bielkowski. It was all change after the break though. Just 42 seconds in, Caden Jackson, on as a sub, whipped in a cross to the far post, and Gwion Edwards volleyed in an equaliser. One more goal would delay the inevitable, at least by a week, and Ipswich took the initiative. Just 2 minutes later, Alan Judge caught Josh Emmanuel's cross sweetly, only to hit the post. If a winner was to come, it would be down the Ipswich right. Edwards crossed to the lively Jackson in space. He found Judge again, but Lee Camp denied both him and the home side stay of execution. Ipswich, the first team in the EFL to be relegated this season. They'll play in the 3rd tier for the first time since 1957.
The only surprise from this one is that Derby took 37 minutes to open their account. Harry Wilson with a dive worthy of Tom Daly, but it didn't put Craig Bryson off his stride, the Scot making a splash with his first league goal since October to set the Rams on their way. Given Bolton's off-field problems, it's a minor miracle they're still able to field a team. But any hopes they had of turning this one around looked doomed in first-half stoppage time. Chelsea loanee Mason Mount taking centre stage. And having grabbed the spotlight, Mount seemed reluctant to fade back into the shadows. 10 minutes after the break, he continued to torment the seemingly doomed Trotters with his second and Derby's third. And it seemed merely a question of how many the Rams could rack up. But professional pride kicked in for Bolton keeper Remy Matthews, who came up with a double save to deny first Martin Waghorn, then Bryson. It was a rare flash of defiance from a Bolton side who ended up bedraggled and beaten. The fourth was Chelsea's past meets possible future. Ashley Cole with the pass which set up Mount to complete his hat-trick. Bolton's return to League One now surely a mere formality. Derby still dreaming of a return to the big league.
Martin O'Neill continued his theme of tweaking his starting lineup, and the early signs were that his experiment would have the same results as it did midweek. Barely 30 minutes on the clock when Joe Rothwell repeated what he did midweek by scoring again for Rovers. Forest still had a mathematical possibility of making the playoffs, but the feeling among many fans was that O'Neill had all but given up on that ambition with his team selections of late. Danny Graham's 150th career goal exploited the lack of cohesion in the home side's defence. O'Neill had already started to talk about what it will take to make Forest a force in the Championship next season. Pragmatic it might be, but not what fans want to hear. An own goal from Elliot Bennett at least gave the City ground something to cheer. The haphazard defending that gave Rovers their second goal almost gifted them a third. Jack Robinson caught in possession, but a combination of good keeping and the frame of the goal kept out Bradley Dack. That's back-to-back wins for Tony Mowbray's side.
A third match under caretaker boss John Eustace, and what a difference a couple of weeks have made for QPR. Darnell Furlong set the tone against Swansea, giving Rangers the lead with barely 2 minutes on the clock. With just one league win in 2019, there weren't too many that saw this performance coming. Certainly not Swansea, who found themselves 2 behind inside the opening 5 minutes. To Mohamed adding to the Swans' nightmare start. They'd won 3 in a row coming into this one, but all 3 of those were at home. On the road, it's a very different story. A 7th straight-away defeat was all but confirmed within 17 minutes as Hamed got his second of the day. Eustace says there's no chance of him becoming Rangers' permanent manager. But with 4 points out of 6 this week, he's done his bit to ensure Rangers will stay in the Championship. This win, completed by Massimo Luongo, puts 8 points between them and the relegation zone. Graham Potter apologised to Swansea's fans after this display, barring a near miss from Cameron Carter-Vickers. Their travelling support had very little to cheer on another disappointing away day. Those Championship results in full then. Aston Villa made it 8 wins in a row with victory over Bristol City. Ipswich's draw with Birmingham isn't enough to save them, and Sheffield United may well regret those dropped points against Millwall. Leeds' win sees them tighten their grip on second place. They extend their lead over the Blades to 3 points. It's all over for Ipswich, who are relegated to League One. Rotherham picked up a point at Stoke, but will be distraught to see Reading and QPR pulling away from danger. In League One, Luton were finally defeated. The Hatters' 28-match unbeaten streak was broken by Charlton. The Addicts stay in the hunt for the top 2. Barnsley and Portsmouth made the most of Luton's slip-up. They both hit 4 goals on the way to 3 points. And there was a crazy game on Weir's side, Sunderland losing 5-4 to Coventry. Defeat for the Black Cats saw them lose ground in the promotion race. Pompey joined them on 80 points with Charlton just 1 behind. Luton's lead at the top is cut to 5. Only 8 points separate the sides between 13th and 23rd. Wickham and Accrington climb the table after useful wins. In League 2, the day belonged to Lincoln. The Imps deservedly securing promotion after a 1-1 draw with Cheltenham. It was a good day for Bury fans too. A 2-0 success over Colchester was enhanced by rivals Mansfield and MK Dons' failure to win. Strugglers Notts County and Yeovil needed points, but lost to Crewe and Crawley respectively. So here's the confirmation that Lincoln fans have been waiting for. Next season, the Imps will play third-tier football for the first time since 1999. At the bottom, Cambridge are not quite safe after a disappointing defeat to Newport. The relegation zone is unchanged with the bottom 4 all losing. We will sign off with 9 goals from 9 different goal scorers in that sensational game at the Stadium of Light. A great advert for the EFL. Until next time, from me, Dan Mason, and all our team, it's goodbye.